The latest Supermajor for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has just concluded in the form of Supernova 2025. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about exactly what I thought about the tournament and kind of going over it, the highs and the lows, what I would have changed, and what I really enjoyed. Overall, I'd say this event was super duper cool and really the most fun I've had spectating an event in a long time. I almost regret not streaming my actual reactions to the sets because there were certain matches where I was just losing my mind, but we'll get into that a bit more later. I think first we should highlight the breakout runs that certain players made, namely being Jazo and Peanut. These players went on some of those crazy runs I've ever seen in my life. Jazo even almost took down Onin, which would have just been absolutely wild. And Peanut, after Mia won the tournament, he said that Peanut was his hardest player he faced.
Who was his hardest opponent in this top 8?
終始辛かったのはピーブナッツは強かったね。
No translation needed there. Peeb, I got you right there, but
Which just goes to show, like, what is this guy doing? Like, he beat Spargo, who was rank 1 in the world last season. This guy was just on the run of his life, and I mean, it was just so cool to watch. I just didn't know when these runs were going to stop, and they were sad to see them go, but overall, it was really awesome to watch as they would just run through top level talent. Real quick, if you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and let's get right back into it. I think we really have to highlight how just absurd these runs were, because, like, for example, in Jazo's case, he lost early to a Yoshi named Fanai, and it was very close. It was game 5, but he was defeated very early in the bracket and sent to loser's bracket. After this, he would go on to 3-0 or 3-1 his next 7 opponents in a row, leading him to Natoru, the Pichu player. At this point, I was starting to see this, like, wait, this guy's out of his mind, you know? And he would go on to barely beat Natoru in a close game 5 match, and then beat Ken 3-1. That was already a big enough upset, but then he'd go on to 3-0 MPG, and then he'd move even further into the bracket. He'd beat Base Mage in a game 5 set, then beat Shattuck in a game 4 set. Like, this guy wasn't messing around, and, like, I was like, can anybody beat him right now? Like, what's happening? He beat Raflo game 5, which, you know, Raflo was going on an insane run himself, and then he went on to just barely lose to Onin in a very close game 5 nail biter match. So, you know, and I know people felt, you know, kind of upset about that, but there's nothing you can do, so you kind of just gotta be glad that he made it as far as he did. I mean, I'm so shocked. And then Peanut arguably made an even more insane run. This guy, I mean, kind of arguably just played out his bracket as expected for the majority of it until he matched himself versus Ken. And I must say, Ken did horrible. Like, I mean, he just got upset twice. Like, that's just unfortunate. You know, it's sad that he had to be the victim of both Peanut's insane run and the insane run of Jazo, but he got 3-0'd by Peanut, and that's when people were like, wait, what? He 3-0'd Ken? Like, Ken is a really great player, but this weekend, he messed up a little bit. But here's when the run just goes mad. I mean, he literally beats Spargo in a game 5 nail biter set, who, I don't know if you're aware, Spargo was rank 1 in the world last season. And this season, the new rankings that just came out over the weekend, rank 5 in the world. So Peanut definitely wasn't supposed to win this match. I think Spargo was seed 2 of the tournament, and he got knocked down to losers very early. A lot of people were scared at this point that would mean that Onin was going to then be on the winner's side of top 8 because Spargo was supposed to fight Onin, and we all know Spargo would probably beat Onin. He's just so good versus Steve. But Peanut, probably not so much. Bro, Peanut destroyed Onin. I don't think Spargo would have beat Onin like that. Peanut beat Onin 3-0. Oh! Now he's in winner's side top 8 versus Mia. Spoiler alert, Mia won the tournament and that match. 3-2, but it was so close, bro. I was literally like, please, but he couldn't do it. You know, and what can you do? He gets sent to loser's bracket. He has to rematch Spargo, but Spargo's mad now. And a little fun fact about Spargo is he doesn't lose when he's mad. unless it's to Min Min.
Grab there from Doramigi. Does not got the power to bar now.
Spargo had him in shield.
Oh my god. Oh my god, he's dead. How does he make it back? How does he make it back? Oh, I don't think he's finals. What?
We'll get back to that. Overall, these runs were just so brilliant to watch, and to see two players who weren't seated anywhere near there make it to 7th and 5th place at this tournament respectively is mind-blowing. And the hype is all driven from these insane runs, so it's good to still be able to have that in 2025 and not even buy DLC characters or things that people really dislike, by Mega Man and Ken. What I also thought was really impressive was, over the weekend, if you're not aware, to much controversy actually, the Lumi Rank for the first half of 2025 came out. And I gotta be honest, this was definitely the most disliked Lumi Rank, or just ranking in general, that Smash has ever had. At least for Smash Ultimate. People hated this. And I was even one of the people who was like, this is kind of crazy. Like, some of these rankings don't really make that much sense. But, you know, I'm eating my words, because pretty much all the people showed exactly why they're in the position that they were in. Somebody like Light, who was ranked outside of the top 10, and many people said that was really unfair, didn't place as high as, I think he got 13th and he was ranked 13th. So, I mean, he kind of showed why he's ranked there. Now, to be fair, he did get such an unlucky bracket. Like, he got such an unlucky bracket. This guy got seeded into Mia, then T, then Raru. Like, at that point, it's like, bro, just disqualify yourself. Like, you're not winning that. But I also thought it was impressive players who people thought they were too high, and they showed, no, I'm not. You know, I'm supposed to be here. This is something that especially pertains to the rank 1 player in the world, Doramigi, who at only 15 years old, many people are questioning, should this guy be rank 1? I know a lot of people were saying, I've never heard of this guy. How can he be rank 1? I've never even heard his name before. Or even if I have heard his name, I've never seen a single match of him. Rank 1 in the world, he's attended 1 tournament outside of Japan. So people were very skeptical of this. But after Supernova's conclusion, I don't know if people can be so skeptical. It really did look like, until that grand final set, I mean, let's not talk about that grand final set. But until then, it looked like Doramigi was unbeatable. Like, I think nobody in the world could have beaten this guy. Except for me, 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 except for me. But, geez, this guy was just a monster other than in that Mia match. That Mia match was just horrifying. But, yeah, he was rank 1 in the world, and he got 2nd at the tournament. You can't ask for too much more than that. Even against players like Spargo, they just looked clueless on what he was even supposed to do in that position, and many people did. You even saw, you know, Hurt bust out Sonic. And man, does that sound like a hype matchup or what? Min Min versus Sonic. This is where we're at. No, I'm kidding. But that was a horrible match. Spargo's losers run was really interesting and cool to watch. After he got upset early by Peeb, you could just tell he was fighting with this fury and passion within him, and he wasn't going to let much stop him. And although he did go down to, obviously, Doramigi, that is Cloud's worst matchup, so it is going to be kind of tough for Spargo to win that. But aside from that, you know, I even did see Spargo post, like, he was going to have this be his last tournament, but after the result, he wants to change things. And I can respect that a lot, and I know that this wasn't necessarily the result he wanted, so I am very interested to see where things go for him from here. By the way, I just must say, you know, everybody talks about Japan this, Japan that. Are they overrated? Are they really as good as people say? They're pretty good, bro. I gotta be honest. All Japan top 3 is kind of crazy, especially because some of their best guys didn't even come. You know, some people say Akola is the best player in the world, really. He wasn't even there. He didn't even show up. Which, I do want to speak on that just a little bit. That's really my biggest kind of critique of this Supernova. And it's kind of out of their control, but there were a number of players I would have really liked to see there that were not there. Namely, people like MK Leo, Tweak, and Akola, as well as Mars and Gluttony, who I feel like all could have made very big and impactful runs in this tournament, and yet they just weren't present, which I feel like takes away a little bit from the actual tournament, but you know, what can you do? You can't make them attend the tournament, so that's just kind of unfortunate. I do think it's interesting to see the complete new era we are in right now of Ultimate. Like, if you look at the top 8, the top 24, so few of these players were around, like, were ranked in 2019, or even were ranked in 2021 or 22. So many of these players are new players. Like, we're really in a completely different game than we were in. It's so crazy because it almost feels like Spargo is the old guard now of the current generation. Like, he's the guy we really have known for a little while, and then he's fighting off these new people. When it's like Spargo, even we hadn't really seen as a top player until Summit 3 in 2021. So all of these people are just so new to the scene, it's kind of crazy. Some of the sets during this tournament were just so hyped to watch. If I had to recommend for you to watch some, if you haven't watched any matches of the tournament, I definitely recommend Hurt versus Mia. And I never thought I'd say what I'm about to, but this was an amazing set. I just said that about Mr. Game & Watch versus Snake. I hate Snake. But not this Snake. This was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. He didn't pull one grenade. I hate grenade. That's what I realized, because when he had no grenade, this was the coolest thing ever. But with grenade, I'm like, bro, why are you camping me? But he wasn't camping at all. He'd just be running around boxing people left and right, kicking dudes in the head. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right, TK, with the rage and with how light Game & Watch is, he can flip it. There's no way he's winning. There's no world.
You know, oh my gosh, it was so awesome to watch. I loved the Jollibee. He would be sipping it in between matches and it would be powering him up. They were like, he's looking mighty jolly.
Taking a big ass sip of that Jollibee.
He is advertised, bro. He is enjoying that beverage.
I don't know
why he's so close to the camera. Like, I'm kind of thirsty, actually. Wait, look at it. He's smiling. He's laughing.
Yes,
He's like, he's looking real jolly. Yeah, he's looking jolly.
And then he was even giggling after game 2, and I was so hyped, bro. I was losing it. And then he got reversed 3 out. But it was hyped for a while, though. It was hyped while it lasted. I also want to talk about that T versus Light set, because geez, bro. First of all, I thought T would go Pac-Man. I feel like Pac-Man has a better shot than Kazuya, but bro, that was such a crazy set, especially the ending. I don't know, you know, spoiler alert, skip forward to the time I'll show on screen, because I'm about to spoil how the set goes. But at the very end, in game 5, when they're tied up, they both have 2 stocks. It's so crazy. Like, Light is going for a up B. Then T drops down on him. He hits him into the stage, gets stage spiked, and they both fly off to the left and die. Then they both have 1 stock left, 0%, 0%. They're both just floating down on the angel platforms. T drops down and he's just running around. Light's like, okay, I'm gonna get my hit now. Light drops down and just 0 to deaths him. Light doesn't get hit one more time for the rest of the match. He just combos him out of the match. It was insane, bro. That was just a great set. I love T. I love Light. That was just some great Smash Ultimate, man. Overall, when I'm thinking about the tournament, it wasn't too much Steve, I feel like. Or maybe it was, and I just don't feel as negatively as I once did about the character. I don't know. There was definitely a decent amount of Steve, you know, but it wasn't too crazy where it was just like the only thing I could think about, you know. There was like no Steve in top 4. So is Steve really that broken? Yeah, but he wasn't there, so it's fine. I do want to talk about in Grand Finals, the game before the last game, before Doramigi decided to pull out his legendary Korin. They did drop the confetti again prematurely. And this time it's not so funny to me. It's like, bro, how do you do it twice? I'm almost like, did they do it on purpose because they thought it would be like a funny and fun tradition? If so, like, that's kind of disrespectful to Doramigi. I don't like that, because he hadn't lost yet. Like, he still had a chance, and like, I don't know, that's just weird to me. I feel like I mean, whoever did that, you gotta get fired, bro. Like, how do you do that 2 times? Like, bro, actually, you gotta get fired. This is also kind of just only talking about Ultimate Singles, and it's not even getting into any of the other side events. Like, this is not even to mention things like the Smashy Awards. So, overall, I think this was really a fantastic tournament, and it just continues to kind of prove and reinforce my optimistic mindset of kind of the direction that the game is going right now. I feel like Ultimate's in kind of some sort of a renaissance phase where it was really great, it dipped, and then now it's kind of coming back, and it's very, very exciting for somebody like me who's been a fan for a little while. And I am actually going to have an upcoming video where I do talk about really the state I feel like Ultimate's going, and just how pleased I am with kind of the direction that things are right now, and how I feel kind of reinvigorated as a competitive fan. But yeah, be sure to leave down below what you guys kind of thought about this tournament, if you guys enjoyed it, and what your favorite set or match was within the tournament. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and see ya.
I bet he's mad thirsty. But what beverage hits just the spot?
Just a little sip. No.